Sign these divorce papers, you useless housewife." The words hit Jasmine harder than the pain tearing through her body. She lay on the narrow hospital bed, sweat soaking the white sheet as a painful contraction ripped through her. Sighs. Her hands gripped the metal rails, her legs shaking, her breath broken and desperate. A nurse stayed close, gently telling her to breathe. The baby was almost here. "I said sign them, Jasmine," her husband repeated coldly. The nurse froze. "Sir, she is in active labor. This is not the time." "This is exactly the time," Benjamin snapped. "I've wasted enough years married to this woman." Benjamin had walked into the labor room calm and well-dressed, like he was late for a business meeting, not the birth of his child. Beside him was a woman Jasmine had never seen before. The woman was glowing, confident, and heavily pregnant. Her hand rested proudly on her stomach, and the diamond ring on her finger caught the hospital light. Jasmine's heart sank. Benjamin didn't rush to her side. He didn't ask how she was feeling. He threw a set of papers onto her chest. "Before we continue with this incredible story of betrayal and redemption, if you believe in never underestimating anyone and love powerful comeback stories, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss stories like this. Trust me, you'll want to see how this ends." Now, let's get back to Jasmine's journey. The woman beside him stepped forward with a soft smile that didn't reach her eyes. "My name is Vanessa," she said gently. "I'm Benjamin's fiancée." "Fiancé?" The word crushed whatever strength Jasmine had left. A sharp cry escaped her lips as another contraction hit. Tears rolled down her face, mixing with sweat. Benjamin's mother entered the room behind them, followed by his sister. Their faces were hard, judgmental, familiar in their cruelty. "She's always been dramatic," his sister said with a sigh. "Even now?" Jasmine looked at Benjamin, her voice shaking. "Why are you doing this?" she begged. "I'm having your baby." Benjamin laughed, short and bitter. "My baby," he said. "You're nothing but a poor housewife with no goals. I was tired of carrying someone who brings nothing to the table." Jasmine had been alone for hours in the labor room at Methodist Hospital in Houston. Benjamin was supposed to be there. They had been married for 4 years. 4 years of Jasmine waking up early, cooking, cleaning, supporting him, believing in his dreams while he chased success. When her water broke that morning, she had called him again and again. No answer, just silence. Finally, she came to the hospital alone, holding her belly, whispering to her unborn child that everything would be okay. She still believed he would come, and there he was, serving her divorce papers. "I came here to end a mistake," Benjamin continued. "You stayed home while I worked. You thought cooking and cleaning made you important. It didn't." His mother leaned closer to the bed. "We never wanted you in this family, Jasmine. We tolerated you. Now it's over." Another contraction tore through Jasmine's body. She screamed, clutching her stomach, fear and pain consuming her. Benjamin dropped a pen onto her chest. "Sign. If you don't, you'll pay every hospital bill yourself, and we both know you can't afford that." The nurse's eyes filled with tears, but she said nothing. Jasmine looked around the room. No love, no mercy. No one was on her side. With shaking fingers, she picked up the pen and signed. Benjamin snatched the papers, satisfied. "Good," he said. "Security will make sure you don't disturb us again." As he walked out with Vanessa and his family, Jasmine cried silently, her body breaking, her heart shattering. None of them knew this was not her end. It was the beginning. The door closed behind them. The room fell silent except for the steady beeping of machines and Jasmine's broken cries. Another contraction tore through her body, stronger than the last. She screamed, gripping her stomach, tears pouring down her face. "Push, Jasmine," the nurse said softly, her voice shaking. "Your baby needs you." Jasmine nodded weakly. She was empty, shattered, but she pushed. She pushed through the pain, through the betrayal, through the fear. Minutes later, a small cry filled the room. A baby's cry. "It's a girl," the nurse said gently, placing the baby on Jasmine's chest. Jasmine looked down through blurred eyes. The baby was tiny, fragile, and alive. Her little fingers curled around Jasmine's skin as if she knew this was the only safe place left. Jasmine broke down completely. "I'm here," she whispered through sobs. "I won't leave you. I promise." For a brief moment, the world felt quiet. Later, when the baby was taken to be cleaned and wrapped, Jasmine lay alone again. The pain in her body was dull now, but the pain in her heart was sharp and heavy. A nurse returned quietly. "Your husband paid the hospital bill," she said gently. "Everything is settled." Jasmine gave a weak nod. Even that felt like charity. Even that felt like control. The next day, Jasmine was discharged. There were no flowers, no family, no husband waiting at the door. She walked out of the hospital, holding her newborn tightly against her chest, wearing the same worn sweater she had arrived in. The evening air was cold. A nurse slipped some diapers and baby clothes into her bag and pulled her into a tight hug. "You are stronger than you know," the nurse whispered. Jasmine didn't answer. She found a small, cheap motel room near the hospital and paid for one night. The baby slept beside her, breathing softly, unaware of the pain that surrounded her arrival into the world. Jasmine lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Benjamin's words replayed in her mind. Useless, poor housewife. No goals. Her phone vibrated weakly. Low battery, 4%. A restricted number was calling. She ignored it. The phone rang again and again. Finally, shaking, she answered. "Hello?" Her voice was barely there. "Jasmine Taylor Cole?" a woman said calmly. "Please don't hang up." Jasmine sat up slowly. Her heart began to race. "You have the wrong person. That's not my name." "No, you're the right person," the woman replied. "My name is Patricia Reynolds. I'm a lawyer from Sterling Global Holdings." Jasmine frowned. "I don't know that company." "You should," Patricia said gently. "Because we've been searching for you for 30 years. Jasmine's throat tightened. "Stop," she whispered. "Please." "I'm outside the motel right now," Patricia continued, "with a man named Charles. He's a private investigator. If you give us 5 minutes, we can prove everything." Jasmine's hands trembled as she stood and moved toward the window. Outside, under a flickering street light, sat a black luxury car. 2 people stood beside it. An older man in a dark coat, a sharp-looking woman holding a folder close to her chest. They weren't rushing. They were waiting. Jasmine opened the door slowly. They entered the small motel room quietly, as if they understood how fragile this moment was. The investigator closed the door behind them. Patricia sat across from Jasmine, her eyes soft. "We're sorry it took so long," Patricia said. The investigator slid a thick folder onto the small table. "Please," he said gently. "Open it." Jasmine's fingers shook as she did. Inside were documents, birth records, DNA results, legal papers, old hospital reports, and photographs. One photo showed a young woman holding a newborn baby. Same eyes, same face, same nose as Jasmine. "That's Nicole Cole," Patricia said quietly. "Your biological mother." Jasmine's vision blurred. She looks like me," she whispered. She died the night you were born, the investigator said softly. You were stolen from the hospital by a woman. She raised you in poverty and never told you the truth. When she died, she left a confession letter. It took us 6 years to track you down. Jasmine pressed her hand to her mouth as a sob escaped her chest. And your father, Patricia continued, her voice breaking slightly, is Robert Cole, founder of Sterling Global Holdings. Hotels, real estate, a multi-billion-dollar empire. Jasmine shook her head. This isn't real. It is, Patricia continued. Your father is dying. He has cancer, Patricia said. He has months left, and his last wish is to meet his daughter, to give you everything that was taken from you. Jasmine laughed suddenly, broken and hollow, not because it was funny, but because it was impossible. Hours ago, she had been called nothing. Now the truth sat in front of her, and the world was about to change. If you're hooked on this story and can't wait to see what happens next, smash that like button right now and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. This story is about to get even more intense. But I don't understand, Jasmine said softly. Why didn't he find me before? Or now? Patricia lowered her eyes. He tried, she said, for years. But powerful people interfered with money, corruption, and lies. The investigator leaned forward. Your father's younger brother has been running the company for decades. He blocked every lead. He made sure you stayed lost. Why? Jasmine asked. Because if you were found, Patricia said carefully, he would lose everything. Silence filled the room. Your father is very weak, Patricia continued, but he is still alive, and he's waiting for you. Jasmine looked down at her baby sleeping peacefully beside her. I can't just leave, she said. I have nothing. I don't even know how to live in that world. You won't be thrown into it, Patricia said gently. Not yet. She paused, choosing her words carefully. For now, you must stay hidden. Jasmine frowned. Hidden? Yes, the investigator said. If your uncle finds out you exist before we are ready, you could be in danger. You need time. Time to learn. Time to grow strong. Patricia nodded. You will learn business, law, power, and confidence. You will learn everything your father wanted to teach you. Jasmine swallowed hard. And Benjamin? She asked quietly. The investigator exchanged a look with Patricia. We looked into him, Patricia said. His businesses are drowning in debt. He owes millions. He survives by borrowing and lying. Jasmine's fingers tightened. And Vanessa? She whispered. Patricia's voice was calm but sharp. The child she's carrying is not his. Jasmine closed her eyes. The betrayal burned deeper now, but something else rose with it. Clarity. They used me, Jasmine said. All of them. Yes, Patricia replied, but they also underestimated you. Jasmine looked at her daughter again. Then she lifted her head. When can I meet him? She asked. Patricia smiled softly, tears in her eyes. Tonight. Hours later, Jasmine sat in the back of a quiet private car, her baby wrapped tightly in her arms. The city lights of Houston passed by like a dream she didn't belong to anymore. The car stopped in front of a large estate in River Oaks. She had never seen anything like it before. The mansion was like a palace. Inside the luxurious mansion, an old man lay in a bed. His eyes were tired. But when he saw Jasmine, he cried. My daughter, Robert Cole whispered. You're finally here. Jasmine broke down as she took her hand. I'm sorry, he said through tears. I searched for you every day. For the first time in her life, Jasmine felt it. She was wanted. She was loved. And as she sat there holding her father's hand, Jasmine Taylor Cole didn't know it yet. But the woman Benjamin called useless was about to become his greatest regret. Jasmine stayed by her father's side that entire night. His hand was thin and warm in Jasmine's grip. She was afraid to let go, afraid that if she did, he might disappear again as he had for all those lost years. Robert watched her as if he was afraid she wasn't real. "You look like your mother," whispered. "Every time you smile, I see her." Jasmine wiped her tears quickly. "I didn't know," she said softly. "I never knew you were looking for me." "I failed you," Robert said, his voice heavy with regret. "But I swear to you, I will spend whatever time I have left making it right." Jasmine looked down at her sleeping baby, then back at him. "She is your granddaughter." Robert smiled weakly. "Then I leave my world in good hands." The next morning, everything changed. Jasmine was moved into the estate. Doctors, nurses, and staff appeared quietly, treating her with respect she had never known. She felt uncomfortable at first. She wasn't used to soft voices or people waiting for her instructions. Patricia stayed close, guiding her gently. That same day, Jasmine was introduced to tutors. At first, she felt lost. She had been a housewife. She had budgeted food, not companies. She had cleaned homes, not boardrooms. The numbers confused her. The words felt heavy in her mouth. But something inside her refused to break. Every time she felt tired, she remembered the delivery room, the divorce papers, Benjamin's voice calling her useless. And she kept going. Days turned into weeks. Jasmine studied while her baby slept beside her. She listened. She asked questions. She learned how money moved, how power worked. Robert watched proudly from his bed. "She is stronger than you think," he told Patricia one evening. "Just like her mother." That night, Jasmine stood in front of a mirror. Her clothes were different now. Her posture had changed. Her eyes were calmer, sharper. Fear no longer controlled her. She was no longer just surviving. She was becoming. If you love stories about transformation and rising from rock bottom, you need to subscribe to this channel right now. We share powerful stories like this every week that will inspire you to never give up. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button. Jasmine waited 4 months. 4 months of silence. 4 months of learning how power really worked. 4 months of letting the people who broke her believe she had disappeared. Then she finally made the call. An emergency shareholders meeting was announced at Sterling Global Holdings. The reason was strategic and irresistible. They were told that a powerful new controlling investor wanted to meet with them. Decisions that would determine which businesses would survive and which would collapse. Benjamin received a personal invitation. He read it twice, then smiled for the first time in weeks. "This is it," he told his mother. "This meeting will save us." His business was drowning. Loans were closing in. Investors were pulling away. Sterling Global Holdings was his last hope. Vanessa came with him, heavily pregnant, dressed carefully, her hand resting proudly on her stomach. His mother and sister followed, whispering about influence, money, and connections. They walked into the building in downtown Houston, believing they were about to be rescued. They had no idea what they were walking into. The conference room filled slowly. Board members took their seats. Investors murmured. Media cameras lined up. Whispers spread. They say the new investor owns the controlling shares. No one has met her. This meeting will change everything. Then the doors opened. The room went silent. Jasmine stepped inside. She didn't rush. She didn't scan the room. She walked like someone who already belonged there. Her dress was elegant and perfectly fitted. Her hair was pulled back, revealing a calm, unreadable face. Just authority. Benjamin frowned. He did not recognize her at first, but something about her unsettled him. Jasmine reached the podium and paused, allowing the silence to stretch. Only then did she lift her eyes. They met Benjamin's. Recognition hit him like ice. She placed her hands on the podium. "My name is Jasmine Cole," she said evenly. The room leaned forward. "I am the biological daughter of Robert Cole," she continued, "and the sole heir to Sterling Global Holdings." The explosion was immediate. Gasps, shouts, cameras flashing wildly. Benjamin froze, his face drained of color. Jasmine didn't raise her voice. "I called this meeting," she said calmly, "because too many people here believe they could build their futures on lies." She pressed a button. Documents filled the screen behind her. "I have evidence of embezzlement, fraud, and illegal financial transfers within this company," Jasmine said. "Federal agents are waiting outside to arrest the culprits." "Yes, this is the moment we've been waiting for. If you're feeling this revenge as much as I am, show some love by hitting that like button and sharing this video with someone who needs to hear this story. Let's keep going." The doors opened. Agents entered the room. Her uncle stood up shouting, "This is a setup." He tried to push past them. They grabbed him, forced him down, and snapped handcuffs around his wrists as cameras captured everything. Jasmine waited for the chaos to settle. Then she turned to Benjamin. "You divorced me in a hospital room," she said quietly, "while I was in labor." The room went still. "You called me useless," she continued. "You said I was nothing but a poor housewife with no goals." She lifted another file. "You forged my signature. You buried me in debt and walked away smiling." Jasmine met his eyes. "I reversed everything." Benjamin's legs gave out. He collapsed into his chair, shaking. "Every loan," Jasmine said calmly, "every bill, every debt. I have made sure no company will ever invest in you." She turned to Vanessa. "And you," Jasmine said evenly. "The child you are carrying. It is not Benjamin's, is it?" A sharp gasp swept through the room. Benjamin turned to Vanessa, horrified. "What?" Jasmine pressed the remote again. Messages filled the screen, photos, dates, and a DNA report. "The biological father is another man. The man that you are planning with to steal money from Benjamin. Right, Vanessa?" Vanessa screamed, clutching her stomach as cameras zoomed in. "No, this is a lie." Benjamin staggered back, staring at her in disbelief. "How could you do this to me?" he whispered, broken. Vanessa collapsed into her chair, exposed. Jasmine turned to Benjamin's mother. "You humiliated me when I was at my weakest," Jasmine said softly. "You taught cruelty and called it strength." She fell to the floor, crying, dignity gone. Jasmine stepped back from the podium. "I didn't come here to shout," she said. "I came to close the doors." Agents continued making arrests as the room fell apart. Shouting, crying, lives unraveling in real time. Jasmine turned and walked out. She never looked back. Her father died 3 days later. Jasmine held his hand until the end. "My daughter found her way home," he whispered. Months passed. Jasmine rebuilt the company with honesty. She funded shelters. She paid hospital bills for women abandoned the way she once was. Benjamin lost everything. Jasmine had gone from signing divorce papers in labor to owning the world that tried to erase her. They didn't destroy her. They revealed her. The moral of this story is never to measure someone's worth by their weakest moment. Power, patience, and truth always outlast cruelty. Jasmine lost everything in one room and gained everything in another. The same woman they called useless rose without begging, without shouting, and without hatred, proving that quiet strength and truth are the most powerful forms of justice. Thank you so much for watching this story till the end. If it moved you, inspired you, or reminded you never to underestimate anyone, please like this video. Share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories like this, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Your support means everything. And remember, sometimes the darkest moments are just the beginning of a greater rise.